My name is Lisa Shea, and this is part of my Horror Authors, Horror Magazine's Horror Stories series about all things horror. Today we're going to talk about Cemetery Moon, which is a horror magazine that puts out horror short stories and horror poetry. So you can see it's reasonably slim, but that's good because it means that the price is low and that you can try out a bunch of different authors all at once. And if you're a horror author, it means that you can get your short stories or poetry accepted. So Cemetery Moon is put out by Fortress Publishing. Their website is fortresspublishinginc.com. I have a note from someone named Lawrence that he got accepted to Cemetery Moon on August 27th, 2007. So this magazine has been out since 2007. They are currently on issue 14. So they said that they were going to aim for 2 a year, and they're not quite doing that because this is the latest issue. And I am in this issue, and it's still on their website as the most recent issue. So the writer's guideline for this says, if it's a story about a 13-year-old girl named Mary coping with the change to womanhood while poignantly reflecting the recent passing of her favorite Aunt Gertrude, we don't want it. Now, if Mary is the 13-year-old daughter of a vampire cowboy who stumbles upon a government conspiracy involving aliens and unicorns while investigating hard-boiled style the grisly murder of her favorite Aunt Gertrude, then we'll take a look at it. So they're definitely aiming for horror here. Email submissions only. So everything is emailed by a Word document to the address that they've got on their website. Stories have to be less than 5,000 words, horror, suspense, and or gothic, and they'll take short stories and poetry. So that is the Fortress Publishing website. So we'll take a look at the magazine in here. And it says at the bottom of it, Cemetery Moon is published semi-annually by Fortress Publishing, Inc. Single issues $7, postage included. 1 year subscription for 2 issues, $9, postage included. Unsolicited submissions are welcome. People who are able to speak. So they do nice cover designs. They have good cover art. And there's an interesting selection of stories in each one. The stories can be hardcore horror or gentle horror. There's all sorts of mix. And that makes it interesting because that way you get a range of different styles. You can see which other authors are in there. And the back of each one has the author bio area. So each author gets to put a section of their bio up. And that way you can learn more about the author. And if you really like someone's style, that gives you a chance to go out and find out what else they've written. So in this particular one, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people featured. And as I mentioned, I'm one of them. So it starts with A Darker Shade of Green by Frances Gow. Right. By the time I moved into number 33 Harper's Lane with my black cat, Tompkin, Matt was already convinced that I was a Fruit Loop. Like the few men who preceded him, he had grown weary of my environmental campaigns and grow-your-own attitude towards life. Before I moved into number 33, I lived in a small flat with a recycling bin in every corner and a patio full of tubs containing various hardy vegetables. One day he just flipped and picked up my bins in succession, throwing them out into the street. There, he said, that'll give the street sweeper something to do. So each of these has its own style, and I really like this particular story. He Flew Away by Walt Trisna. The Stink Bug Invasion, a product of Asian commerce, spread across the East Coast like a cancer. Now, more than 33 states suffered their scourge. At first, the insect was nothing more than a mild discomfort. Then, ever so slowly, the discomfort grew into a major irritant, and finally, as time passed, a constant source of woe. We got a poem, Envy, by Mindy Watson. Little sister convulses, blinks bewildered eyes. Wetly we chuckle. Poor thing's hands are wasted stumps. So, and, these things are all reasonably short, so you could read them quickly, get a sense of the author's style, and then go and find their longer works if they have them. Sinistra by Wallace Boothill and Philip W. Cleaver. Although my hand is bound tightly in rope, wrapped in cloth, and weighed down under a heavy brass lamp, I can still feel it twitching, desperate to escape. Every movement sends needles of pain shooting through my arm. It's a parasite determined to destroy me. If it weren't for the restraints, I know it would drive itself toward my throat, clawing and grasping at my windpipe until I choked ignobly on my own blood and saliva. We got Research by Karen Heslop. Blood is a lot runnier than I thought it would be. It didn't really stain my hands. As a matter of fact, it mostly ran off before I even turned on the pipe. Oh no, don't worry, it's not mine. Though I suppose the admission only makes what I did next seem extremely strange. I smeared a drop of it on my face to see if it would stick. It didn't. So, all sorts of intriguing things here. Angels Are So Beautiful Until They Rust by Jason Howell. And they do. Around the base of each feather, where metal meets metal, creating a hiding place for even the smallest drop of treacherous moisture. When attending to humans, dampness, from tears of joy to bloody stool, is inevitable. One of alchemy's oldest equations goes, rust equals time, parentheses, metal plus moisture, end parentheses. So, the angels had an eternity, presumably, in which to rust. And, some of these stories are 1 or 2 pages, some of them are 4 or 5 pages, but, you saw how slim this is, and with 10 people in here, each one is quite manageable. Ring Ring by Lisa Shea. Ring! I groggily looked over at the alarm clock in my pitch-dark bedroom. The glowing amber letters read 3:14 a.m. I groaned in frustration. Telemarketers were getting beyond insane. My gaze blearily moved to the phone alongside the clock. The number was a local exchange, but that still didn't mean much. Telemarketers were getting sneaky about that, too. Still, it could be a neighbor with an emergency. I'm sure that's exactly what it is. All right, Annie by Robert Kenton. Annie scrambled over the deadfall of white branches and sticks as her parents stood nearby and watched over her. Be careful, darling, her mother called out. The girl can't hear yas, said her father. She'll be fine. Annie clambered through the tangle of grabbing branches, all white, a graveyard of birch, until something caught her eye. It was nestled in among the round stones that littered the ground, wedged into a crack in one of the white stones, lodged in place. She wriggled it free, and the stones tumbled away, voicing their displeasure in a haunting, clacking language. It was stone of a different color and a structure as the most beautiful thing in the world. It spoke to her. Well, intriguing beginnings. What could that lead to? Silver Jubilee by Glyn Owen Barris. It happened in February 1977, the year and month of the Queen's Silver Jubilee. I remember that well because I had a Jubilee coin tucked in the back pocket of my jeans. The exact date is lost to me, but it was near the end of February, a Sunday, and snow had fallen the night before. So a cool way to set a place and time. And then we're at the bios. So you get a little sense of what each author is like in there. They're all, like I said, very different. They have different kinds of styles and different kinds of ways that they approach things. And by getting one magazine, you get a different collection of all the different styles and see what you enjoy. So, again, this is issue 14. I haven't seen an issue 15 out yet, but hopefully they're working on. And definitely I want to strongly encourage us to support these magazines and compilations and other things because they're a great way to help new horror authors get their word out. And they're also a great way for existing horror authors to spread the word and to reach new fan bases. So take a look for them, buy up their back issues, and ask if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any other horror magazines you know about that I should take a look at so I can spread the word about them. Be sure to like and subscribe. Add notes in the comments if you've been in a horror magazine compilation and if you found it useful to your writing. And let me know if you read horror magazines, which ones you prefer. So I will next cover a couple more horror authors that I've got stacked up to work on. So it was good to talk with you. Thank you very much. I will see you soon.